Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. It is a muggy, hot Tuesday here. Who did I miss? True Crime with Shannon, good morning. Zach, good morning. Brain Freeze, good morning. I saw Slim. Mr. Slim had a birthday over the weekend. Yes, he did. Good morning, Alibi. Let's take a second and tell Mr. Slim happy birthday. What did you do for Mr. Slim? Slim? And you don't need to be graphic. You said you made it through the weekend. I need to know. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Raven. Good morning, Izzy. Misty Dew is got a trainee today, so she gets to chat. Don't you love it when trainees are with you? You know it. Good morning, Russ. So it's going to be a great day, going to be a great show. I'm actually planning on doing a show today on the second channel. So if you're not subscribed to the second channel, go check it out. We have some new people in here. We have some new members because Carol made it rain with gifts. We have some people that are back. They've had a hiatus. Shannon Georgia Peach is back. I see Mayor's here. We haven't seen Erica in a while. P said, trainee be a slave today. So let's take a second and tell everybody good morning and hello. Let's do it. So as you know, this is going to be a very, very sad and frustrating week. This week will mark 2 years since Summer Wells disappeared. Now, I know that Don gets a lot of attention and he likes to have a lot of attention, but as far as we know, there were 2 people, adults. I'm not putting anything on the boys. There were 2 adults that were home that day with Summer in the afternoon. That would be Grandis and Cant. I know some people have been calling her Can, but what exactly can she do and do right? So around here we call her Cant. Let's get it rolling. Of course, we're going to play Opposite Day as well. Slim brought that back. What can't Candace do? I'll start with children. She can't keep children. Her respective states wind up taking custody of her children and raising them. Now, in this 2 years, with the disappearance of Summer Wells, along with removal of 3 minor boys, there are no charges. Now, you tell me why the district attorney of Hawkins County can't hit the old law books, which is what he went to school for, and find something to charge old Cant with. We know in the case of Harmony Montgomery, an eyewitness, which was Uncle Kevin, told them a very grim story about Teardrop hitting Harmony, making her clean toilets with toothbrushes. That was an eyewitness. That was it. Well, we have several eyewitnesses in this case that have told stories that will make your toes curl. And I believe that the pictures that we see are just the tip of the iceberg, because let me tell you what, I have a feeling what went on behind those doors is horrible. It is wretched. Haley said, I used to live in Hawkins County. Their judicial system is a joke. I'm starting to think that, for sure. I've been thinking for 2 years almost. There's got to be something I'm missing here. There's got to be something I'm missing. You don't remove 3 children and there be no charges on anyone. That's insane. Let's get to the comments and we're going to get to the show, my friends. Patricia McConnell. This was after the show. A Tale of Two Sheriffs said, so in an interview, one of the first ones, I believe, conducted outside of their home, both Dawn and Candace sitting side by side, talking and contradicting themselves throughout the entire interview. Now, we know what interview she's talking about. She's talking about the infamous WJHL, where we got our first gulp of Cant. She said they were spewing contradictions almost in the same breath. Dawn stated that little Summer herself shaved her head to be like Candace and her brothers, and that Candace and her brothers were the first ones to shave their heads for the season. That is when Dawn stated that it was getting out of control, and that both Candace and Dawn just shaved her head completely to let it grow out over the summer. She's right. It was full of contradictions, and it was full of lies. It was full of lies. Because about a month before Summer went missing, here is a picture of 3 boys that do not have shaved heads, and Summer with a shaved head. Now, we're going to get more into this tomorrow, but I go back to something that Grandis was said when she was talking about Rose. She said Rose was the pretty one. Well, I think we can all agree Summer's a very pretty little girl. And there she is with a shaved head. But according to Dawn and Candace, it was getting out of control, and she wanted a shaved head like her brothers. Do their heads look shaved to you? No. We've already got opposite day going on. Dina Lynn said it's pretty important to actually supervise a 5-year-old and not expect other children to do the job for you. Bingo. Let me tell you something. That whole planting flowers story and helicopter parenting Summer back to the house was only to give Candace an out. She is smarter than people give her credit for. She can't tell the truth. She wanted to make sure that she put the onus on her sons, which is disgusting. There was no planting flowers. That whole story about how she walked her back in the house was so that the boys would be the last ones to see Summer. Nah. Are we buying that? Are we buying that? Carolyn said maybe because Summer followed the dogs as they made their rounds and they lost her, she couldn't keep up. Summer was probably missing for 2 hours before Candace realized she was gone. Now, this I will agree with, except for the dog thing. I think that the dogs, and there's plenty of dogs up there, would have followed Summer unless she was taken by vehicle. But I would not be surprised if Summer had been missing for several hours before Candace realized it. Because Cant is trying to tell us, she's trying to sell us this bill of goods that Summer had been missing for 2 minutes. We heard 10 minutes, and she looked for 20 until she realized, her and Grandis, in their infinite wisdom, realized that Summer had been abducted. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Brooks, did you see that Can put a video up where she's complaining about pollution? Oh, did I? Let's look at this.
I wish people in general would stop polluting our waters. Look at them poor dead fish. Didn't have a chance because of all the pollution in the water. It's very sad. These poor ducks, they're like nothing but to swim in a clean place, and it's nothing but trash. It's filled with trash. People need to clean up after themselves. It's very sick. There's dumpsters and trash cans for a reason, people. You shouldn't be trashing the water environment. It kills our geese and our ducks and our fish and other organisms and stuff that live in the water and need the water to drink and survive. Please, people, please clean up after yourself.
Climate change can't. Are you serious? Let's take a glimpse of their home. Look at that all around her. Look at all that. You got a curtain rod that you're using to hang clothes on in your kitchen. You've got stuff stacked up to the ceiling, Cant. Look at this outside of the basement door. Who would sleep on that mattress? Are you kidding me? Now you're worried about the water? I wouldn't allow my cat to lay on that mattress. This right here gives me a panic attack. I can't stand having a bunch of stuff around me. When I see this picture, my anxiety is in my ears. This is insane. And this is what the mother of a missing child wants to talk about. This is what she wants to use her platform for. But a platform that she's more than welcome on, she doesn't want to talk about summer. She doesn't want to talk about summer. Matter of fact, the other day she was in chat and Cant, I fixed it for her, says, we're not discussing summer. This is about PG and being so evil to everyone. Who is she to talk about evil? She has had 2 children removed for abuse in Wisconsin. She has 3 that have been removed in Tennessee. And there's Cant that says, we're not discussing summer. It's more important to talk about Prayer Garden. What do you guys think is more important? To talk about Prayer Garden or summer? Prayer Garden's not missing. Prayer Garden's not missing. She hasn't abused any children. But the mother of a missing child believes it's more important to use a platform to talk about Prayer Garden as opposed to her missing child. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And then she uses her platform for ducks and fish.
I wish people in general would stop polluting our waters. Look at them poor dead fish. Didn't have a chance because of all the pollution in the water. It's very sad. These poor ducks, they're like nothing but to swim in a clean place, and it's nothing but trash. It's filled with trash. People need to clean up after themselves. It's very sick. There's There's dumpsters and trash cans for a reason, people. You shouldn't be trashing the water environment. It kills our geese and our ducks and our fish and other organisms and stuff that live in the water and need the water to drink and survive. Please, people, please clean up after yourself.
Opposite day, because again, she's talking about ducks and fish and pollution in the water. You can't worry about the environment when your daughter is missing. Can't. So here's some opposite day. What does this look like to you? That looks pretty damn polluted to me. That looks like a petri dish. Gotta be kidding me. Climate change? Can't. Worried about the environment. What in the world? I'm going to put the link up real quick. I know Shannon Georgia Peach had a couple things she wanted to say. She can grab the link and come up. Rianne, welcome. We have some people just now coming in. NC just made it in. We can say hi again. Welcome, everybody. We had a great members live yesterday, and then we covered some Corey Richens updates. But today, tomorrow, and Thursday on this channel, we're going to be talking about Summer Wells. We're going to be talking about her case, her disappearance, not the other stuff. Her mother believes it's more important to talk about Prayer Garden of America. Again, let me remind all of you, Cant said we're not discussing Summer. This is about Prayer Garden and being so evil to everyone. No, Cant. It doesn't work that way. You're muted, gorgeous. How you doing?
I'm good. How is everyone?
Everyone is piling in and doing good. Can you believe it's been almost 2 years?
No, it blows my mind. At the beginning, I never thought we would ever get to this point. And then all the craziness between them, I've never seen a case like this in my life.
Well, I mean, as you know, I believe it was last spring, Cant mentioned a script. Listen to this.
But I'm letting you know how I feel about the whole script.
Right.
But I'm letting you know how I feel about the whole script.
Right.
The whole script. Why would you need a script? Why would you worry about ducks, fish, and Prayer Garden when your daughter's missing?
That blows my mind because, most of you know what had happened to me. I wasn't thinking of anybody but my daughter. I was nothing. And if my kid was missing and I didn't know where she was at, that would be to me 100 times worse. And I would be in the car. I'd call the detective every day. What can I do? What can I do to help? Not dirty water. You let your daughter swim in that nastiness. Why don't you start cleaning your house first? Like you said, opposite day.
Opposite day. You're worried about the water. Thank you, Shannon. Opposite day. You're worried about the water, but you took your daughter to the other side of the park where Eastman Kodak drains their chemicals and let her swim there.
Yep.
Because you don't like sickness or because you had Hunter with you.
Yep. And I'm thinking he's an alibi. Like, we went here, there. Here's my script. And TBI cannot get a word out of her, just like on Dr. Phil. I don't know. I can't think of anybody. I don't know. That's all she gives.
And now they're in Arkansas. Why would you go to Arkansas when your daughter's missing in Tennessee? There's a statewide Amber Alert in Tennessee, but you're in Arkansas.
Why would you leave if you thought she was abducted and this abductor could, be like, I'm dropping her off? Which we all know there is no abductor, but you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't leave my house. They know. They all know.
Victoria said,
And go ahead.
people who, oh, you're fine, baby. Victoria said, people who can't have children want children, but Candace has so many children, they all get taken away because of her nasty ass. That's exactly right. On another channel, Cant said she doesn't know why she has so many kids. Well, Dawn didn't stick it in your leg.
No, she wants unconditional love from children, but doesn't want to give it back. But has an obsession with sons, but not her daughter. Not her daughter.
Smiley, I'm so glad you're here. Smiley said the money they pay for the hotel, they could have rented another place in Tennessee. I still wonder if he's been paying for that hotel or if his boss is doing it. Maybe his boss is. So since Shannon brought up the Dr. Phil, actually, she must be reading my mind because I already have this planned. We're going to go through, and everybody get ready. Get your opposite day thinking caps on. This is in Cant's own words. Climate change Cant is going to tell us what happened the day Summer disappeared.
Ask you, Candace, if I understand correctly what you've said. You took Summer in the front door.
Yes.
And you said to the three boys, keep an eye on Summer.
Yes.
Okay. Then you did what?
Then I went back outside to my mom's camper, which was right next to the house. And I had to fix her knee brace for her.
How come Don denies seeing a knee brace when he got to the property?
And and fixing a knee brace, I've had a knee brace. You can do it yourself. You may need help moving it around, but they just don't seem like the kind of people that, I don't know, that whole scenario and the plants and the cacti and the weeds, and it's a script. And then Grandis has taken a nap to distance herself. But, Dr. Phil has tried so hard to get anything. Is there any enemy? You might not be thinking of something. No, I don't know. Well, she doesn't like Allie. We know Allie didn't do anything, but you're not even mentioning people that don't like you.
Well, and also, she says she's out there fixing the knee brace. Now we're doing opposite day.
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Cant doesn't care about anybody but herself. But that morning, the morning of Summer's disappearance, she was worried about her mother's crusty old knee and said, "Oh, Mother, I have to get you to the ER. We have to have your knee looked at, Mother.
Right.
We have to. Please, Mother, please go. Please, we have to get you medical attention for your knee." She doesn't care about anybody.
And we're not going to take the Subaru. We're going to take this old bumpity truck, because I know that's not a smooth ride.
But that day, she cares about Grandis's crusty old knee.
That opposite, like you said, opposite day. There was a plan in motion or something, because that, and then just to pop up, at Hunter's house, or however that situation happened when they hadn't been talking, but yet again, I'm probably going off a little bit, but Allison saw and witnessed all this bad stuff she did to her kid. Sure, Hunter, go along with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that blows my mind. But yeah, Candace is, she can't keep up. There's a main script, but then it goes off here and there in little bitty pieces.
Well, Cant herself, climate change Cant, said
Nope.
she didn't like the script. Very good point, Michael. If Grandis's knee was so swollen, why would she want a knee brace on? Thank you.
Yeah, good point.
Great point. Great point.
Okay, she had a knee brace on,
Yeah,
and that took,
only 2 minutes.
okay. And then what'd you do?
I went back in the house.
When you went back in, what'd you see?
The 3 boys sitting there watching TV.
Okay. And no Summer?
No summer.
Okay, what'd you do then?
I asked the boys where she was at, and they told me that she went downstairs to play with her toys.
Okay. Would she do that? Would she say, hey, I'm going downstairs to play with my toys, or would she just go?
No, she'd tell the boys.
What'd you do then?
Well, I hollered for her at first.
And no response.
No response.
So what'd you do?
So I went directly down there. I looked for her everywhere I could look, in the room, under the blankets, whatever. And she was gone.
All right. What's the way to get out of there?
She was gone. That's always been the story. She was gone. Now
And-
let's play
In
opposite
2
day.
minutes.
2 minutes.
Mhm.
Gaslighting.
But-
And she won't take her eyes off of Dr. Phil. She can see her reflection in his shiny head. She
Oh, yeah.
won't take her eyes off of him. She's waiting on him to snap at any minute. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Dr. Phil, when it's an ongoing investigation, an open case, he speaks with law enforcement and they give him tips into what they've dealt with the certain people before. They
Right.
tell him, this is how you handle them. So when people say, well, how come he wasn't doing the, bear in a sleeping bag? This is where the rubber meets the road, Cant. It's because he knew she would clam up and she'd walk out. She did it with the behavioral panel. She goes to LA. She gets crack and free teeth. But when it comes to advocating for Summer, she wouldn't do it.
No. And I'm guilty at first when I watched it. I was like, Dr. Phil has never told a guest, I think you're both innocent and you had nothing to do with this and that. But then I stepped back and I thought, TBI took that opportunity to see if they could get Dr. Phil to say, look, we think you're innocent, and get something out of her. Just any little bit of information. And it was a setup. And I think he did his damnedest, and he tried really hard to get her to say something.
Mhm.
And she just, I don't know. Tell me about Summer. That pisses me off. That whole situation right there, that really bothers me.
More opposite day, Carol said, under blankets, you wouldn't have to lift a blanket to know if someone is in there, Cant. You also wouldn't pick up a mattress on a concrete floor to look for a 5-year-old under it.
No, that's
Come
made up.
Come
You see a lump.
And Dr. Phil didn't say that they're innocent. He told Candace he thinks she knows more, but he thinks
Right.
Dawn,
Right.
he just thinks Dawn doesn't know nothing.
Yeah.
I just want to clear that up.
Thank you. You're
Like
right.
coming back upstairs,
Just the basement door.
that back door.
Yeah.
Okay. And if that door opens, could the boys hear it?
No, if they had the TV up loud.
Okay. All right. Is she known to go out that back door?
She'll go out the back door, but then she'll circle around by her swing.
Okay. Back around to the front?
Yeah.
What we're seeing here is looking out that back door, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Now there's a road there. Is that
Driveway.
a driveway?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so there's the driveway, and I'm actually glad that Dr. Phil showed this.
Yeah, me too.
There's a driveway. She could have easily wandered off in the woods, but here's the thing. With the military tile search that they did, which was shoulder to shoulder, they would have come across her. Dogs, drones, helicopters, heat-seeking drones that were picking up rats and dead bunnies.
Yep.
If there was a dead child out there, and I'm not trying to be gruesome, the buzzards would be circling.
Oh, definitely.
Where'd you put her, Candace or Grandis? I'm not accusing, but I just would like to know.
Okay. Now, can that be seen from your mother's camper?
No,
That's the
I think-
back side of the house. You
yeah,
can't see that
that's-
from her camper.
not that part. No.
I
You
disagree
step
with
up on
that.
the road there, you can about see your camper.
And that drive there goes up to the highway?
It circles around the house right there, it goes to the top, and then it goes down around to it. It circles all the way around the house.
Okay. Is that the back door?
That's the back door.
That's the door to her room.
Yes.
Okay. If she came out that back door and there was somebody there, could they have grabbed her right there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then how would they make their escape? Back this direction,
Well,
away from the camper?
the dogs led, the scent went straight down that dog trail by that yellow generator, right from where that picture's taken.
You're saying then that this is the back door,
Yes, sir.
and you're saying that there was a scent that went this direction,
Yes, all the way down to Ben Hill Road,
all the way where?
all the way down to Ben Hill Road.
Okay. Now, if this looks like a big circle, how do you get back to the highway?
So you go down the driveway to Ben Hill Road and then turn left, and it takes you out to Beach Creek area.
Okay, so for someone to drive away, they would have had to come on around the circle and exit here?
That's a possibility, but we think they were parked down on the Ben Hill Road.
Now, we is not the FBI because the FBI card unit said there's no abduction. We
Nope.
is not the TBI because the TBI said there's no evidence of abduction. Can't really put a lot of stock in old Pruitt at Hawkins County. But this is really important that Dr. Phil is saying. So for someone to come up, they would have to drive this circle and go back around the house. Think about that.
Yeah.
How can Candace miss a car circling around her house? Now, Don's saying we think they were parked down there. They came up the dog trail. They flew blind into the holler. They went to the basement. They grabbed Summer while 3 boys had been there alone all day long. But they grabbed Summer.
No,
some-
ma-
Was a
makes
boy there.
no sense.
No. I really wish Dr. Phil, and I understand why he didn't, would have asked Candace, what happened in Wisconsin with your older children? Scratch a lie.
Yes.
Okay, so you think they would have walked on down through
Yeah.
the woods to the road
Down, that was
and
Yeah.
left the car
yes,
down at the road?
yes. And that's
Okay.
what the dogs indicated. The scent went down to the road, and then somewhere on that road, the scent disappeared.
But how would they have known she was going to be there? Would they
Of
have
course,
gone inside the room to get her?
Possibility. I wasn't even aware the trail was there.
Okay. So your belief is this might be the last spot that Summer was on the property,
Yes, sir.
right there.
Yeah.
That she was put in a vehicle there and driven away.
Yep.
Do you have a story or?
My God. My Lord. Hang on 1 second. I had a comment I missed. Sharon said, if someone parked on the road, how How did they know that Summer was in the basement? You would have to know how to navigate that property.
That in the dog, correct me if I'm wrong, but dogs can't scent on cement. They will lose track of anything on a cement. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's just what I've kind of researched on, you know, dogs' scents. I could be wrong, but that's what I heard. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it ended at the road where the cement is and she got into a car. That and my thing is all of her belongings were so mixed up with all the other belongings. I think they had a hard time finding her scent. I don't know if they got a hairbrush or what. But you know, maybe they took her down that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
And had their car down there. Yeah. I mean, you just don't know.
But in this story, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. And the stories have changed. One of our friends sent an email to the district attorney and said, at what point are there stories that they're putting out publicly on YouTube that are ever evolving and changing? At what point can that be prosecuted? Because there's only one story, and that story is the truth. That's all there is to it. Now
and the truth doesn't change.
No, it does not, my friend. It does not. So now we get to where she gets pinned down by the behavioral panel who smelled a rat. Okay, they smelled a rat.
Oh, yeah.
And they said they think she knows more. Dawn, which you got to take that with a grain of salt, told Brian Hinton she might have made the wrong friends. Well, drug dealers don't want kids.
They don't.
The only people that want kids, well, you know what's going on there, and I can't say it on YouTube because it's just too depraved to even talk about.
Right.
No, I want to.
These are tough questions.
No, I'm being interrogated again, and I don't want to do this anymore. Yes, I am.
Not you.
I'm being interrogated again, and I can't help it. I can't do this. I want to go home, Donnie. I'm gonna pull these wires off my.
She's got the. She's got the ugliest cry. Oh gosh. Ugh.
Yeah, she's no Demi Moore in Ghost, is she? Demi Moore's
no, it's not.
You can't tell if she's taking a shit or upset.
I know.
We'll stop. I want you to feel comfortable.
No, I want. Oh, and I want to go home.
Getting too close to something.
If I was Dawn, I would have kicked her ass all the way back to Tennessee. Those guys are sitting there going, I'm sorry. Nothing looks guiltier than running away from somebody asking simple questions about your missing daughter for global television. The Dr. Phil show is seen in like 80 countries. I want to go home. It's not helping me. I'm being interrogated again. Well, you weren't interrogated good enough.
And they were asking just simple questions like, do you have any, just like the regular, is there any enemies? Have you heard of the cornbread mafia? That took off. That went into a crazy direction, but it's just a saying. But it's just a syndicated, they do moonshine and other drugs and they traffic that. And I don't know why she got triggered with that.
I think they did that to throw her off and to see if she would take the bait.
Yeah.
To go, oh, could be. I don't know. See, and then we go to this from a couple of days ago. We're not discussing Summer. This is about Prayer Garden and being so evil to everyone. Again, Prayer Garden hasn't had children removed from her, and I'm not taking up for another creator. I don't even really know anything about her. Prayer
Right.
Garden is not missing. Summer is missing.
Right.
You shouldn't want to talk about anything except your missing daughter. Climate change can't.
Mm.
So she starts even before she flees the scene by doing something that we refer to as the trancer in our true crime workshop. And that's making yourself unavailable, whether it's doing this or emotional or something you escape. She's already escaped. It's just a matter of getting out of that wire.
Yeah.
The interesting piece is contrast their body language.
Uh-huh.
Don looks oblivious to all of this. He's trusting us and paying attention to us. She's not.
Dawn looks oblivious.
Yeah.
I can't hear that enough. I
No.
can't hear that enough.
No.
Now, don't forget that the next day, after she took a nap on a park bench in LA, she had a selfie taken with Spider-Man.
Oh, they were just having the time of their life when they were out there.
Mhm.
My ass would have been right back home.
It's an interesting.
Actually, I probably would have the TV come to my house because I wouldn't have been able to leave. I just, in that state, there's no way I could leave my home.
No, they
But-
would have come to me. I'd have been like, listen, I have a missing child. I can't be out there. But
Right.
no, where did they go? They didn't fly out there and fly right back. They
No.
didn't go there and tape the show and go back. No. They took time to stop and smell the roses. They went to Utah. They met another YouTuber in Dallas.
Gee.
And they just took their time getting back. Pictures with Spider-Man, new teeth, swollen gums because she was told not to smoke because she had, open gums. But she's smoking it up and then she's crying that her gums hurt.
That's because she was out stopping at places getting her drugs too, I believe, if you know what I'm talking about.
Probably.
Yeah.
She's down in her chin.
You ask them a question and they feel they're being threatened, you'll see that chin drop. It protects the neck. It's something that happens from your limbic system, psychological thing that happens. So the head goes down. That's what we're seeing there, along with a lot of I. She talks about it's not working for me, those types of things.
They get very emotional. They lock up. Their throat is protected by putting their chin down over their throat.
To me, this is very important.
Mhm.
Now, people say I reach too far when I say, they use past tense. Past tense is very important. We learned that in the Gannon Stout trial because the DA said, did you pick up that Letitia was using Gannon in past tense?
Yep.
Okay, they have used past tense from the get-go, which tells me that Don is very aware of what happened that day. He's just not going to spill it.
Yeah, and I find myself still using present tense. And I know that my daughter's not here. So that right there, it dawned on me. Of course, this is 2 weeks later. I was trying to distract myself. And I was like, well, let me watch Summer and see what's happened in the past so many months. And that was the past tense. I was like, I just saw things in a whole new light, but not to get off of this, but yeah, you're exactly right.
Well, and like he's saying, she's using basically narcissistic words.
Mhm.
I, me, it's not helping me. This isn't about you. This
Nope.
is about Summer Wells, who went missing under your care. If she wandered off in the woods, I believe she would have been found. Other children in that area are found quickly when they wander off. Same exact terrain. Same
Yep.
exact terrain.
And then typically in pre-confession, their body will open up, and that's when you close. That's when you go after them.
Yeah.
We wondered.
Now, when my producer asked the Wells for a tour inside their home to better understand what happened the day that Summer went missing, Candace refused. Then she changed her mind and let us into the basement, but only after they had time to clean it. But a month after Summer went missing, Candace did invite podcaster Chris Madonna of the Interview Room for a home tour. Let's take a look at a little bit of that.
I watched her walk in there, and afterwards, when she was already in there, I walked over and I said, "Quiet." And he looked at me and I said, watch Sissy, I'll be right back. And that's when I walked back over to my mom's.
Okay.
And I was fixing her brace and stuff like that. And I said, well, Mom, I got to go back over with the kids. And that's when I come back up into the house.
Okay.
With the boys.
Okay.
Not that way.
You walked into the house.
Well, I walked into here. Get up. I walked in here and them three were sitting right here in row with their eyes glued to the TV, like always. And I said, boys, where's your sister at? Well, she just went downstairs, Mom, to play. So I went over here. Like,
Please look at that house. Please look at that. And Climate Change Cant is in Arkansas talking about dead fish. Dead fish and worried about the ducks. She's worried about fish, ducks, and prayer garden. What about your daughter?
And the living conditions. And it is so easy. I'm sorry. I have sons. She used them boys, I believe, to say, Summer's going downstairs. They never turned to even look away from that TV. I believe she used them because she knew they wouldn't even. That's how they are. When they're on their video games, my son will not look up at me. Hey, do you want this for dinner? Yeah, sure. Never looks at me once. I feel like she really used those boys. But yeah, back to the pond and stuff. You're more worried about that? Okay.
You're exactly right. An atom bomb could hit my house, and my boys are not losing their turn on Mario Kart. Forget it.
No, no.
Forget it.
They'll freak out.
so this is where the stairs are.
Okay.
It's actually down under there.
Oh, down into her
Down into
bedroom.
our bedroom, and then hers is on the other side.
Oh, okay, in the basement.
Yeah, in the basement.
Well, this makes sense now. See?
And then I yelled and I said, Summer, Summer. And she didn't. I listened for a minute. I didn't hear nothing. So I went like this, because this is how I would get down here.
Yep.
That's
Do I got to be tiny to get in there?
No, you should.
Can we come in from the other side?
Well, we can, but it makes more sense if you went this way.
Okay, I'll follow you.
Dear God. She goes, well, we
he
can't.
did not want to go.
But she's like, but it makes more sense if you go this way. He's like, can I just walk around and walk through the door? It makes more sense if you go this way.
But
And
if you were going to abduct somebody, and let's say you had to go that way, it's almost hidden. So, let's go with their little theory. You would have to know them. So that just doesn't. That's a scary place. I'm sorry. But Chris was like, can we go out the other way? He did not want to go down those stairs at all. I don't blame him.
Wesley Curry is talking about $32,000. Oh, you're trolling me. Hang on. I don't have time for that.
Oh, hell.
Go on. We're talking about Summer Wells, not Egypt. Okay. Also, it gives me chills when I see this. And Chris McDonough is down there with her, and she's talking about toys. And she's like, when I go to the garage sale and I have extra money, I always spend on the kids. I don't spend on myself. Yeah, you do. And he goes, I understand Summer now. That, to this day, breaks my heart. And there's
He knew.
there now. There's a staircase there now.
Oh, man. Good grief,
Not
girl.
with my 6-foot husband can fit down here. You can.
Huh?
My husband's 6 foot. I know if he could fit, you can.
This. Oh, my gosh. Way to go.
This is my husband's room.
Okay.
And over here, well, it's a mess again.
That's all right.
But this is where Summer and Little Waylon was.
In the interview, you ask if someone there's a door to her room downstairs. It's a basement room, but there's an outside door.
Correct.
You ask, could you hear if someone had opened that door?
She said, yes, you can clearly.
Okay, so we have footage of her opening that door. Let's take a quick look at the door.
I don't remember. I don't recall if this was locked or not. I
Okay.
don't recall that.
Okay.
But I know it's hard on me. But I know I did come out here and I said Summer, because sometimes she'll sit right here.
There was a tiny squeak to the door, and that was it.
And this drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
She goes down into the dungeon, the basement, whatever you want to call it. She looks under a mattress that was laying on a concrete floor, looks under some blankets. She goes, well, and then I walked out the door and I looked because she sits there by herself and plays toys. And from there, she grabs Grandis to tell her that Summer's been abducted. And Dodo Grandis is like, yeah, I knew she'd been abducted. You just gave her a peppermint and took a nap. You're telling me that fast?
No.
No.
And I'm going to tell you, when there's a tragedy, everything is so vivid that I would remember that door being locked, unlocked, wide open. This is from my point of view. You remember everything from that day, especially around the trauma part. You would remember that. So that's a red flag to me now. Her not knowing if it was unlocked, locked, whatever. I'm sorry. That's wrong. That's not how that works.
Oh, I agree. I agree. The whole thing is just unbelievable and it's just disgusting. Something's got to make sense. Something has got to make sense. And I stand corrected, everyone. Thank you, Trev Time. Thank you, Trev Time. Climate change Cant is concerned about ducks, dead fish, prayer garden, and coin pusher. I stand corrected. I forgot about that. Because she did
Right.
make $18 at coin pusher. And that helped her self-esteem.
You couldn't hear that up those stairs, through that cubby hole, and around through that cluttered room with the television on. Do you have a story or a question for me?
Oh, I got lots of stories and lots of questions. And right now, this is the one I am concentrating on because you can't make it make sense.
No.
Let's go through, and this is a little lengthy. I know this is a little lengthy, but I would say about a month, maybe a little longer, after Summer went missing, the mother and father of a missing little girl and an active Amber Alert, in their infinite wisdom, thought it was a good idea to call Mary and tell her that Donnie had been taken to Boston.
Oh, that. I forgot about that.
They just took Donnie away. Who did? The boy. They did? How come? I don't know. Someone told me the reason why. But they're flying him off to Boston, Massachusetts. They're flying him off to Boston? Yeah. Really? Oh my gosh, Candace. They didn't tell you why? No. So what they do? They just knocked on the door and came in and cuffed him and took him? Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Candace. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I wish they would have told you the reason why. It's so easy. They just did it. So they had to take him. Jeannie said again. Oh, really? Wow, Candace, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry, Candace. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, honey. I feel so bad for you. I wish I was there. I wish I could hold you, Candace.
I'd rather hug a bear than hold Candace.
Yeah, right.
And Mary was believing this. She got a hold of Chris McDonough, and he was like, this is not possible. This is not
No.
possible. He would be in Hawkins County. They would not take him to Boston. And you can hear Dawn in the background at one point. Listen.
He's never given me the kisses long, ever. He's always been the greatest father. Right. Oh my gosh, Candace, I'm so sorry. Gosh. So you don't think that they're just gonna take him for maybe a couple of days and release him? No, I don't think so. You don't think so? Well, whatever Jenny and her friends did. I don't know, Candace. I don't know. They might just take him maybe for a couple of hours. Maybe they're just taking him to question him or something. You know what I mean? Why would I take him all the way to Boston? What? But why would I take him all the way to Boston? This is the question, I don't know. Boston? I don't know. He don't have any ties in Boston that I know of, right?
Even Mary can figure it out. Mary's like, Boston? Boston? Okay, this never happened. They lied. They pranked her. They punked her. With a child missing and 3 boys in state care. Who could sleep knowing that your daughter is out there somewhere and that your 3 sons are with strangers?
There's no way.
They're not saying, good morning, Mom. Good morning, Dad. They're not with Grandma. I would still like to know why Grandmother of the Year Grandis, according to some people, never got custody of any of her grandchildren. She had no problem. Usually, when they have to take a child from the parents, they go to a grandparent. Why was Grandis not fit to take care of her 2 grandchildren in Wisconsin and her 3 in Tennessee? You're telling me we have people in here right now that are raising their grandchildren. Grandis couldn't do it. She can't bother with that. And so this is what they do. Like I said, the boys are with perfect strangers. There's no, hey, Grandma, hey, Mom, hey, Dad. It's, hey, Bill, hey, Sue. They have no family connections. None.
No. And the whole, I'm going to exclude Mary and all them, but they didn't know Summer, but any of them immediate family, they knew we can't put these kids with any of these people because Grandis would be right there letting, first of all, I believe she's a suspect, as well as Candace and Dawn. That's my opinion. And
there you go. You said it.
You're going to talk to them. Right. And that means she's going to let, even though they would tell her Candace and Dawn cannot be around, you think she's going to listen to that? No. And they're going to talk to the kids, make sure you say that, manipulate them like I think that they already did, the oldest one. I don't like to talk about them too much, but I do think that he snuck a phone call or I don't know if it was a visit. And, that doesn't make sense. I'm not supposed to talk about their missing sister. No, because they're afraid you will threaten or make them change their story, confuse them. No, I agree with that.
Kids are really big with the power of suggestion. And that was one of the main reasons they said, you don't bring up Summer. We need them to talk. And you can't intimidate them into your script. You can't do it.
And it makes false memories.
Yeah, not that I know of. The only places he's ever been is like Federal. That's all I know. Federal. Huh. Yeah, yeah, I don't know, Candace. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Oh, nobody knows. Oh my gosh. I know. When's your mom? Is your mom coming back?
Wait a minute. She said it.
No,
She has
she's
nobody now.
not.
It's always about her. And then Mary says, is your mom coming back? Because Grandis Abandus,
Mm-hmm.
she has a missing granddaughter,
Mm-hmm.
3 grandsons in foster care that the state didn't even consider letting her take care of. Of course, I
No.
guess you can't have them in the camper. I think it's because she's a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes off to another state.
I don't think she should have been allowed to do that, but that's just me.
Fan says, I'm a bit slow. Whatever happened between Cant and Hunter? Well, in my opinion, what happened was extremely inappropriate, and Cant should be in jail for it. But that's
Absolutely.
up to Hawkins County, and they're not doing anything.
Storm the Capitol. That's all I know. Wow. Wow, that is just crazy, Candace. That is just crazy. Wow. I'm really sorry to hear that, Candace. I can't believe that they didn't, I don't know, they didn't say something to you. You know what I mean? And then, so they said that they were going to take him to Boston. Are you sure they didn't say Utah? Over the mention Montana. Oh, right. So do you know anything about that? I don't know anything.
I don't know anything. And there's Mary at 11 o'clock at night listening to this drunk monkey. She calls Chris McDonough, and it's like, they said it's federal. They took him to Boston. And he's like, nah.
There's a process. They have to extradite. It doesn't just go straight from there. And I give kudos to Mary because it sounds like Candace is speaking a new language that nobody's ever heard. I can't understand hardly. I don't understand half of that.
And there's this, because Shani paid attention in school. She said everyone knows they have to tell you why you're being arrested.
Exactly.
They have to tell you why you're being arrested. Oh no.
Wow. Wow. Well, did Donnie ever come into some money that you knew about or anything? About $80,000. I don't know. Wow. My goodness. Yeah, that's just really crazy, Kat. Over the basement. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy, Candace. I don't understand what's going on, because if they're going to extradite him to Boston, I just don't know why they would do that, you know? Unless... Wow. Yeah. Huh? The drug cartel, is that what you said? They're going to kill him? They're gonna...
The drug cartel. You really think that the drug cartel is messing with a dirtbag like Dawn? And they don't want kids. Get real. It's not about $80,000. Well, then why was Allie buying you food if he had $80,000? Gotta be kidding me.
Exactly.
Gotta be kidding me.
She's just making it up as she goes. And Dawn's back there coaching her on certain things. You know, say this, say that.
Blue
Like it.
Summer said, wasn't that phone call before they went to Dr. Phil? Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Trev Time said, so the feds and the cartel are working together now? Like an episode of Ozark. You can always
Mm-hmm.
tell what fools have been watching on TV.
Yeah. Well, if he's messed up in drugs, Candace, that's not your fault, okay? That's not your fault, Candace, okay? And there's not a lot you can do about that, you know? There's not, you know? I mean, you can stand behind him and be there for him, Candace, you know? But if you... stand behind him. Yeah. You know, and I just, oh my gosh, I just don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Candace. Do you think he had something to do with Summer's disappearance? In my heart, I don't. In your heart, you don't?
They both say
That's
that.
because you love him, Candace. He's your husband. You know? But, you know, I just don't know, Candace. I mean, I hate to, I don't want to say, you know, he had anything to do with it, you know, but you never know, you know.
The last thing you want is the cartel pissed at you.
Right.
The last thing you want. And let me tell you something. Climate change Cant and Donnie are too sloppy and dumb for the cartel to deal with. They like smooth operators. They like slick hombres. Not them.
No, they're buyers, bottom of the barrel of fish. They're not messing with these people
No.
in a million years.
Donnie said 20 children the mafia cartel children that were hero. Wow.
Right there, you hear Dawn in the background.
Yeah.
But he's supposedly in Boston. Listen. Put it right there. Listen, you hear Dawn in the background.
Donnie said 20 children the mafia cartel children that were hero. Wow.
Yep.
Right there, you hear Dawn.
I heard it.
It's clearly him.
You hear them a little, and then you hear them even more towards the end where you stopped it.
Mm-hmm. Muscle said, so disgusting. So
yes,
disgusting.
ma'am.
Stephanie said, heard him. Shani, I heard him too. Good morning, Andrew. How are you doing, Andrew?
They're very mad at him. They're very mad at him. Madam, he said 20 children the mafia and they're mad at him. Well, that's just great. I don't know, Candace. That's just great. I don't know what to tell you. I'm really sorry. I feel really bad for you, Candace. So your mom don't plan on coming back, huh? No. Oh God. It's just great. Oh my goodness sakes. That's just great. Okay. And I'm going to be one of you. Yeah, and save the ones who come of the Mexican mafia and the ask him. Oh, is that because of what came out today on YouTube? I don't know. I don't watch it. I don't watch it. Right, yeah, you don't watch them. I don't know. I was seeing something today, and I don't know. It was showing messages between two people. And so I don't know if that's the reason or not. You know, well, Candace, I'm sure you're going to get your kids back. If you didn't have anything to do with this, and Donnie did, you will get your kids back, Candace, okay?
Nice phrasing, Mary. If you didn't have anything to do with this, you're going to get your kids back. We're sitting here at 2 years, and there has never been a formal announcement. And I don't expect for the police to say someone's been cleared.
Right.
That's not the phrase they use. That's not the rhetoric they use, because they have to have a fail-safe in case something comes out later.
Right.
They will say the family is not the focus of our investigation. We've never heard that. There was a tweet from Leslie at TBI to Court K that said this is an ongoing criminal investigation because we can't rule out foul play. Who was with Summer? What two grown women that don't know how to clean a house were with Summer that day? Cant, and Grandis. That's who we know were there.
Yep.
And the TBI cannot rule out foul play. That's as simple as I can make it. That's as simple as I can make it.
And there's your answer. I'm sorry. That's the answer right there.
We have seen many an investigation where the police clear it up real quick and they're like, the family's not the focus. Don't worry about them. The family is not the focus. This is not one of them. We have never heard them say it. Never once. If anything, we've heard counter opposite. We've heard Ronnie Lawson, love him or hate him, say they're not cooperating. They're not cooperating.
And even not cooperating is even just Candace not answering questions. I don't know. It's pointless to talk to her because she will not. It's always, I don't know. She will not answer a question, period.
And here's some more opposite day for you. Peas in a Pod said parents never once appeared with LE ever.
Yep.
They had daily press conferences. And guess who was not there? Dawn, Cant, and Grandis. That would be the time to stand there and advocate for your daughter. They couldn't even stand there.
No.
We have seen Brandy Neal and Tyler Vaughn having to hold each other up. They're about south. They're so upset about Michael.
And I understand that. And not only that, but the last time they went searching for Summer, was she playing a game or a puzzle or a board game or Monopoly and not even caring that they were looking like, oh, they won't find her. I'm not worried about it.
Climate Change Cant and Grandis and Bandis were playing Monopoly during
That's
the last
what it was. Yeah.
They're playing Monopoly. Could you imagine?
No.
Don't worry about that because you will get your kids back. They will find they will help you, Candace. They will find a safe place for you, and you will get your kids back. I don't know anything about Donnie or whatever went on with the courthouse. But I don't know anything about that. I've never heard anybody. Right. Yeah, I know you don't, Candace, and that's what I'm saying. You know, don't try not to worry about it because you will, and you'll get your kids back. So try not to worry about that, okay? Just because they took Donnie don't mean that you won't get your kids back, okay? Are you okay? I guess you're not, are you? Right. Yeah. Yep. I can't.
She's so out of it, the closed captions can't even interpret what she's saying. And you
No.
hear Dawn. You clearly hear Dawn.
Do you think that because of what Mary and Jeannie were doing, that this was a malicious prank on them because they were pissed with Chris McDonough and that whole other investigation going on? Do you think this was a payback?
Yeah, I think they decided to punk him, prank him.
Yeah.
They were mad with what they said. They called TBI and they said, this is what Dirty Dawn did when we were growing up.
Right. And that y'all need to look into that.
And then, like I said, over the weekend, she puts this in a chat. We're not discussing Summer. This is about PG and being so evil to everyone. What's that got to do with anything? Who cares? Who would care? You have a missing daughter. You should be looking for every opportunity to get her name out there. Keep the pressure on the police to solve the case. Enough pressure on the pipes. They burst.
And even Dawn said, I went to YouTube thinking that's where I could get help finding my daughter. And then you're saying that 2 years later? Like, your daughter's not on YouTube. YouTube's not going to help you. You called the detective, the police. You go on searches. You ask about, hey, can we search this area? What can I do? Give me something to do to find my daughter. None of that happened.
But supposedly she's hanging flyers in Springdale, Arkansas. Make it make sense.
Oy, oy, oy.
That'd be like me hanging them in Tulsa.
But you know she's not there.
You need to calm down and, I don't know, smoke a cigarette and just sit there and calm down, Candace. You know, try not, I know it's hard, but try not to worry, okay? Guys tried to save 27, and they're killing him. They're trying to kill him. Wow.
Oh, they're killing him. They're killing it. They're trying to kill him. Mary's like, Mary's catching on. Okay, Mary's catching on.
He knows.
Oh, I didn't
She's
know
trying
that.
to be nice.
He didn't say anything to me, Candace. Yeah, Candace, he hasn't said nothing to me, so I don't know what's going on. I mean, I did read about that, about him owing money to people, but I just thought it was just another rumor, you know? It's top secret again. You know either. Well, yeah, that's just crappy, Candace. Oh, I'm really sorry, Candace, to hear that they took him. I know my baby's. I know, Candace, right? I bet you've been going crazy. I mean, I'm sure of it, you know, and don't worry about your boys because your boys are safe, you know, and try not to worry about Summer because she's out there. I believe she's still out there, okay? I don't know. I wish I knew, Candace. I wish I knew where she was. But I believe that she's still out there and she's going to find her way home. I really do. You know, and try not to worry about your boys, okay? Because they're safe right now. Your boys are good where they're at, and you will get your boys back. You know, so try not to worry about that, okay?
Well, that didn't age well, Mary, because
Nope.
that didn't age well. But I mean, props for trying to keep her calm. This is the real Cant. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's sad is
that, number one, what they put Mary through. And number two, you know, even though she's still family and she knows they're full of it, she was still concerned because it seems like she has a big heart. And I just feel horrible that that happened to her. Um, I would have handled it differently, but that's just me. But, you know, kudos for her for even understanding what she was saying. And she even said they had to extradite him to Boston. That doesn't happen within hours. They've got to get warrants. They've got to talk to Boston courts. That takes days, even weeks. So that whole story in a nutshell, of course, we all know it was a lie, but Mary was catching on to all those little innuendos that were not true. That just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, none of this happened. And like Amy said, to go along with what you said, she said, imagine having this much time on your hands. They could be out searching for their daughter instead of pranking the internet. This is a nightly occurrence for them. Don't forget, a couple of weeks ago, Dawn got a cold call, knock, 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 on the door at the hotel in Springdale, somebody offering drugs. And he's like, nobody, I'm good. Because that happens all the time, right? People just show up to your door with extra drugs saying, do you want some? No, it's because you bought from the people before.
Right.
Who in
Exactly.
here has ever had a random drug dealer knock on their door as if they're a Jehovah's Witness?
I'd have had a gun in my hand and said, get the hell out of my property and I'm going to call the police. You know, like, no way.
There's somebody around here trying to sell drugs. They could give them to kids and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm good, buddy. I'm good, buddy.
Wow.
This was a very unfair thing to do to Mary.
It was. It breaks my heart. Just to mess with her mind like that. That's sick.
They flew to Boston and quit his cell phone, and they're beating him. They're beating Donnie up. The cops
Jesus.
are beating Donnie up. Is that what you said? Yeah. Wow. Well, I don't think they're gonna beat him up, Candace. I think they probably. I think they just want to pull him in and talk to him, Candace. I'll bet you 10 to 1. I'll bet you 10 to 1. They're just gonna pull him in and talk to him and release him. Okay? I'll bet they are. Huh? I don't think they are. I'll bet you they do. I'll bet you they're just going to pull him in and talk to him about the rumors that are going on around. And then why would he be going to Boston? That don't make no sense. No, that don't make sense, does it? But they could have just been saying that. You know, they could have just been saying that, Candace. I'll bet you 10 to 1 that they're probably just going to pull him in and just talk to him and find out what these rumors are going around, okay? They're torturing him. I don't think they will, Candace. They are. They're torturing him.
Yeah.
None of this happened. None of this happened. We got Andrew backstage, Hunter's dad. How you doing, Andrew?
How's the beautiful ladies over here doing today?
Hi,
Oh,
Drew.
how's the summer treating you? I don't mean summer wells, I mean the season.
Just found out they passed a new bill here in New York.
Okay.
No, it's called the Clean Slate Act. So my felonies from Jesus, forever ago, are no longer on my record.
Well, congratulations.
That's good.
Did you get anything done in Sullivan or Hawkins County about getting charges pressed against Candace for her inappropriate behavior with Hunter?
They don't want to do anything about it. Right now their main focus is on Hunter for CPS wise. As it stands.
Well, they can multitask. They can put 50 different charges on one person.
Oh yeah. But as it stands, they haven't done. I asked about it in our last court meeting, and they didn't say anything. And they said, "Well, we're not going to do anything until case is solved." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks."
Well, that might run the statute of limitations. Have you thought about getting an attorney?
I tried, but nobody wants to take a New Yorker, and the ones that will down there they want like an outrageous amount.
Sure.
Could you do a GoFundMe for that, or
well,
that's
we're
just
not. Shannon,
I don't know.
I would, but I don't know how to set none of that up. Two, my peoples and everybody's helped me out a lot in the last year or so, and I really don't want to go down that road again.
I get it. I get it.
Well, now I just want to know what law enforcement agency would not protect a minor child that was definitely assaulted by this woman that also has a missing child and 3 in foster care. I cannot believe that sheriff. Well, it didn't happen in Gloversville, but I know Jeff Cassidy at Sullivan County would talk to you.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know. No, I tried to talk to a cop down there, and I kept getting the rigmarole. So that pissed me off, and I decided to give up on that before I stroked out. But no, you asked what you wanted. You said you wanted to know what police wouldn't do something for a child. I gave the name.
Well, Gloversville, New York can't do anything because the crime didn't happen there.
No, I'm just saying.
It happened in Hawkins County and Sullivan County. So who did you talk to there?
Well, in all honesty, by the court order, it since it did happen on my time, it does pertain to out here. Because by court order, June 25th to August 1, he's legal. He's by law under my custody, no matter if he's here or not.
Well, but he wasn't in June or May or October, June of 2021 or October of 2020. And that's when the crimes occurred.
Yeah. No, he wasn't in my custody at that time. But given that I have joint legal rights of him, it does have to pertain out here too.
Okay. Well, hopefully somebody in Hawkins County and Sullivan County will do something and get a hold.
I'm hoping they do something. I mean, not for nothing, but I'm hoping they do something soon. Because it's getting out of hand and out of control.
Okay, well, did you file a police report with Hawkins?
Yeah, I filed one right after I found out that right after I found out she went missing and he was involved. I filed one.
And what did the police report, what can you tell us? What did the police report pertain to?
Serving an underage and what else was it? Serving underage alcohol, and I tried to get her with child abuse with that as well, but they just took the serving of underage and then I called their CPS and, well, down there's version, which I think is DHS or something like that. And I filed a report on Candace for that and one on Allison as well.
Okay, so that's with CPS, and that's a social worker type of thing. But I mean criminal, talking to a detective, putting in a police report.
I
Trevor,
talk,
are you still in
I
here?
talked to I tried to talk.
Trevor knows how to get a hold of the people in Sullivan County, and I would think that they would be. We lost Shannon. Where'd Shannon go? I think that they would be interested in this, and they could do something with her.
More.
Trevor, you want to come up and tell him how to get a hold of Jeff Cassidy, and then we'll get back to the show about Candace.
Who's a Jeff Cassidy?
That's the sheriff of Sullivan County. That's where
Oh.
they were in Sullivan County when she gave him the twisted tea and bought him the vape.
Oh, all right. Well, you got to remember.
We lost you, Shannon.
It's all. Listen. It's all. All I did was call the non-emergency number that Google gave me.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you.
Okay, now hang on one second. Gloversville PD is in here, and they said, yes, please tell him, Trev. Gloversville PD is in here. Trevor,
Yeah,
can you
well,
look with Andrew
They're
behind
not
the
a real
scenes?
cop. I've been doing that. Person comes
Okay.
over to my channel and talks a lot of smack.
Okay, well, Trevor, can you tell him what Jeff Cassidy would do? I mean, because he holds no punches.
No, absolutely. And good morning. Yeah,
Good morning.
Jeff Cassidy is not one that plays around. And you can see any kind of big case that he's been involved with or a small case, he gets you. And if you were to call down to the department and make that case to them or to one of his deputies, captains, whomever, I would be very shocked that they didn't look into it.
All right, I'll have to call back down there and see what I can't find out then, because like I said, I called back when she shortly after I found out she went missing and Hunter was involved. I called and I kept getting the rigmarole. I might have been calling the wrong place because I was calling the sheriff's department at the time.
So Sullivan County Sheriff's Department would be who you would call regarding anything that happened at the swimming hole, because that's in Kingsport, which is in Sullivan County.
All right. So I'll just have to check up on that then, because like I said, I had the ID number in my other computer. I just don't have it up and running, but
Okay.
I should be able to find the report itself somewhere in my email.
Shannon, you look like J-Lo.
Oh, no.
Oh my Lord, she's got nice weather over there. I'm moving to her house.
Yeah,
Woo-hoo!
it feels good out here.
Hair,
But thank
love
you.
hair. All right,
I
Andrew.
still got a little blue in it. Little purple, little blue.
Are you going down to the vigil, Andrew?
No, I'm in the process of. I'm going to be in the process of moving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I try to stay away from a lot of that because, like I said, a lot of outside things with Hunter is still going on right now.
Okay. Well, I think the most important thing while you're packing up your Tupperware and everything, and I think it's for you to get a hold of Sullivan County and tell them this is what happened. Show them the Chris McDonough. They probably already know.
I'm hoping they know by now.
Well, they're not going to do it on their own. The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
But all right, I might have to step down, honey. Sorry for interrupting your stream. I just got a call.
All right, no problem. All right. Thank you for doing that, Trevor, because he needed that information.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I would be shocked, and I know you agree that Sullivan County wouldn't at least, dig into that. I mean, we don't know. We weren't there what happened, but if that's alleged, then I'm sure that they would, dive into that and make sure if there was something like that, they would hold somebody to account.
Squeak that wheel, Andrew. Squeak that wheel. But as far as your fundraising and stuff like that, you can keep that over on your other channel, Andrew. I don't have time for that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. See,
Tony said
I don't
Leslie
know
Earhart used to work.
much about him, but no. What
Oh,
was
no,
that?
hon, you're fine. No, I said, no, you're fine.
Oh,
I just
I
had
thought
a comment that said Leslie used to work for Sullivan County. Shoot her a tweet. Andrew's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Andrew, you're on Twitter. Shoot her a tweet and say, how do I go about filing? I know you're still listening, Andrew. Just say, how do I go about filing this report? Because there
and
was
if you're tall,
very
don't stop it. Don't
Absolutely
take no
crazy.
for an answer. Go to the next person. No.
Exactly. Exactly. RJ said Sullivan County would not wait on that no matter what was going on in Hawkins County.
This is serious stuff beyond just the summer case. You've got this going too. You've got witnesses to this. I mean, and I do believe Hunter will talk about it. I really do.
Well, anytime someone tells me that the police won't do anything about a child that's been abused in any way, shape, or form, I have big problems. And so when I bring up somebody from the same county that's like, no, Trevor, you're muted. We lost Shannon. And says, no, Sheriff Cassidy will definitely talk to you. All right, this channel, I like how they broke this down. It's called Crimin Owl. This is not my content, but I want to share it with you guys because this show is about Cant, and this breaks down some of
Sorry.
the most disturbing things Cant has done.
Candace Bly, mother of missing Summer Wells, has made some questionable and, in my opinion, quite disturbing appearances online. Let's have a look at 10 of those. Number 1. Seemingly not engaging in the search.
Everybody's already searched that property so much and twisted and turned it over and made a big old mess and all kinds of bullshit. I just don't want to go like after it's already said and done. So I don't know.
Anonymous True Crime said, why not search then?
I've been searching the first fucking day, man.
I've been searching. She looked under a mattress on the floor. She looked under a mattress on the floor. Please don't forget how their mattresses look. She looked under a couple blankets. She looked outside the door. That girl's in here. Hello, that girl. That girl said, hey, Brooks and Chat, chaos and distraction everywhere. That's the reason we talk about the roots of the case. And all of this is nothing but nastiness.
Was she talking about a search that she wasn't aware of? Is that what she was saying?
Let's listen to it. Hang on. See exactly what old Cant is talking about.
Anonymous True Crime said, why not search then?
I've been searching the first fucking day, man.
I've been searching. You looked under a mattress, under some blankets, and out the door. Then you called Dawn. Come on. Dawn was 45 minutes away, supposedly.
I know that.
The first day, the second day, I've been looking and searching everywhere.
Number 2. Claiming she knows something that she can't say.
There's a whole bunch of stuff I can say. But now there's a whole bunch say it. But there's a whole bunch of stuff I can't say because it jeopardizes my life.
What?
Who in here, whose life is more important than their child's? Listen to her. I can't say because it would jeopardize my life.
Take me. Give me my kid back and then take me. I wouldn't care.
Take me.
Yeah.
That's it.
I wouldn't care. Nope.
That girl said, why would a mother not speak to law enforcement on the night their daughter went missing? Because she was too concerned with Allie and Hunter.
Yeah.
RJ said that sounds like a confession that she knows to me. Thank you, RJ. And thank you for all your work you do on the Summer Wells case. If anybody can put RJ's channel in here and Trev's channel, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah.
Number 3. The Dr. Phil Show.
Do you know what happened this summer? No. Do you know who took Summer? No, I'm not going all the time. I can't do this.
That is the cherry on the top of the Brahms sundae. It's not helping me.
Amen.
Me. I. Was.
You just said it.
Trevor, you're muted.
Wow.
RJ, do you want to come up? Not helping me.
Number 4.
You're not going
When
home. You're going to
suspicious
go see
of a
Spider-Man.
You talk to Don. Does he show that sort of passion about his missing daughter? Does he care that much, or is it just about a lot of go?
Kinda. A little bit. Not much.
Did Don have any deals that you was unaware of that may have included your daughter, maybe?
No, I don't know. I can't answer that.
Okay.
She has gone on to say, Donnie and I don't have a relationship like that. I only keep up with my kidses. I don't know what Donnie was doing that day. But she
Thought
said
he
he
was at work.
You there, Trevor?
Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you enjoying this trip down memory lane about climate change can't?
I mean, I think it's just crazy that people forget these things were said. And look at it.
Mm-hmm.
How are these things not like billboard-sized red flags in front of your face?
Right.
Marlena just became a YouTube member. Welcome to the party, Marlena.
Yay.
Check out all the members' content. We have members live. We have a special one coming up for Father's Day. A few people earlier were asking about Coin Pusher, which Peas and I are trying to make an Olympic sport because Candace won $1,800 out of $300 in cash apps she got. This is Coin Pusher. It took her 2 hours.
Pusher, a $2 start.
Wow.
Hold that skill stop button. We're gonna do $1 on this side and $1 on this side. Let's see if we make back more than $2. Oh, come on, good push. That was, wait, second wave. All right, let's see what we got back. $1.25. Okay.
Woo! Shannon, have you ever played?
Yeah, and it pisses me off because I want to reach my hand in there and go swipe it all out. It's a waste of money.
Well, she's got the knack. You know, she got $18 in quarters. Now imagine those quarters walking out of the gas station in Dawn's basketball shorts. You know there was some crap showing that day. You know he had some crap going on.
Imagine being better at Coin Pusher than parenting.
Right.
That girl says, who changes phone number and moves when their daughter is missing? Exactly, that girl. Exactly.
Yeah.
Is he hurt because of Summer, or is he hurt because he's in jail? What do you think?
You know, I can't really tell, honestly.
Are you 150% convinced that Don had absolutely nothing to do with?
Man, I'm not 150% of chance of anything doing with this.
Woo! Dawn.
Whoa.
She's on the bus. She's rolling it over you. What do you think about that, Dawn? I'm not 150% sure about anything.
I'm
Anybody.
hoping they turn on each other.
Mm-hmm. I've been
Really.
hoping for 2 years.
Yeah.
Hello, RJ. How are you doing today?
Hello, how are you? I'm doing good.
I dropped your link in chat, and so did Kamari. Hope everybody goes and checks out your content. You're doing a great job with the Summer Wells case, and just your content in general is great. So,
I appreciate it.
What do you think about this latest round of the circus that has nothing to do with Summer Wells? Of course, we don't do that around here.
Well,
Oh.
I think that explains it all, says it all right there. It's ridiculous. It's. I was saying earlier when you were on the Dr. Phil video, it's a wonder that all the stuff that they will put out there and try to pull off and try to pass as make themselves look innocent. That's just my opinion about that.
Do you think they're succeeding, or do you think they're making themselves look worse?
No, they're making themselves look more and more like the main attraction circus clown than anything else. Back in the day, for those that don't remember, the main attraction circus clown, it was a big deal, especially with Ringling Brothers. That circus clown got billing for the advertisement for the circus when they was coming to town. That's all they're doing, is they're making themselves look more and more like that circus clown.
Yeah. Do you think that over the last few weeks, it's like their nerves have gotten to them a little bit? Because to me, I'm seeing some nervousness in Candace, and I can imagine a lot of reasons for her to be nervous. Are you picking up on that vibe, or is it just me?
Well, yes. And I think that's a combination of a couple different things. She puts out there that she wants to be in Tennessee in Beach Creek, just in case Summer were to come walking up that driveway. And so that's playing in her mind, as well as you have the whole thing, everything everybody's doing on social media, which is they're just starting to focus more and more on Candace. And it's adding more pressure, because every time she goes onto a panel or she does a live herself, she now has to try to counter explain what everybody else has said.
Do you think her new following of enablers is hurting or helping Summer's case? I'm going to let Trevor go first. Trevor also has a great channel.
Thank you. And I don't think there's any way it helps, because they haven't been, and like we said, they're not going to come out and explicitly clear people like that. But we haven't even heard, there's nothing showing foul play. We're not looking at the parents, anything like that. So at this point, we don't know. They could still easily be the main suspects, a suspect. Police could be looking at them like that. So it's hard to sit up there and justify enabling anything they do, especially anything negative they're doing, when their boys are in foster care. They've made it clear that they don't think they're coming home, or they're not going to, and their daughter's missing. So what is there to pat them on the back for at this point?
Well, they have been back home. If you look at what that video that Don Wells put out over the weekend, that was actually a place in Johnson City that he's standing in front of. And they have been back home. And it's I don't know what it is. I mean, is it purely that they're going after a job or looking for a job, and that's why they're going to Arkansas, and they're coming back? I mean, that's not, it's a 10, 12-hour drive. That's not a horrible drive. Depending on where they are in Arkansas, and I'm not trying to figure it out, although I've seen your chat mention where they are. The thing is that there's a lot of pressure mounting on them, and keep bringing up the idea of when a new grand jury is being brought about. Granted, it does not need to be a new grand jury. They can always recall the old grand jury and have a special session. But to constantly be bringing that information up is putting pressure that needs to be brought up and put on them, because it's going to eventually make them crack.
I would think so. Like that girl said, I would like to know when was the last time they spoke to law enforcement. Now, Don said when he was in the clink, the FBI came to him and wanted to know if he sold Summer. Now, mind you, these are Don's words. You have to take it with a grain of salt. But I would love to know, when was the last time? See, that's one of my big problems with Kathy, and I know Kathy's a fan favorite with a lot of people. You have the prime suspect, I mean, according to a lot of people, living with you, Kathy. You have a known child abuser living with your minor grandchild. So if you want to help the case of Summer Wells, you should have had Candace on that phone, on the daily, talking to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, or calling Hawkins County, or you know what, 2 phone calls a day, 3 a day. You should have drove her to the police station saying, you need to talk to these people. But you didn't do that. Instead, you put pictures of Summer in baggies and tape it up in rest areas.
Let's not forget that Candace is the one that cut off contact with the law enforcement. Back I would believe it was about September, August, September, of 2021. They wanted her to come back in for an additional interview. And she never, at that point is when she cut off all contact. She refused to come back in and stopped contacting them.
And I don't expect law enforcement to give us any updates because, well, they don't in other cases. And this could also hinge on the safety of the boys. I agree with Vet Girl. It just really irks me that in 2 years, you have 3 boys in foster care. They weren't taken because Don was drinking too much. Hell, half the kids in America wouldn't be home. That's not why. It's because they suspected foul play with the disappearance of Summer Wells. They knew Don was drinking when they got involved before. They knew the house was a wreck before. You guys think too far reaching?
Not only did they take the boys, they kept them. See, if they took them and then realized that Don and Candace they got word from law enforcement that they're not looking at them, or they think that it's safe to send them back, they would have sent them back. It's been quite a while that they've been gone. And like I was saying before, the Wells have made it seem like they're not coming home. Not them coming home, but the boys. This is what I meant. They've made it seem like the boys are not come back home. And there's a reason for that if CPS is making a case to a judge that the kids should not go home.
Well, why? Let's just back up a step and take a look at the statement that the supposed text that the boys have said they don't want to come back home. And why would you? You're a kid. You're being encouraged to a boy. You're being encouraged to participate in sports. You're encouraged to do well in school. You're encouraged to grow up and learn what it is to be an actual man that can prosper in society. Everything feels right to the boys right now. Everything feels good to the boys. They have friends. They have everything that is socially growth that they're supposed to be experiencing at this age that they couldn't experience at 110 Ben Hill Road. So why would the boys even want to go back home?
Oop, I had myself muted. I'm sorry. And I was saying genius stuff back here. Well, according to Candace and the text messages she sent to Kathy, they don't. They don't want to go back.
Right, and that's exactly my point. If I was a boy that age and I was put into a foster care situation and going from hell, excuse my expression on that, to being an absolute wonderful, awesome situation, as Don Wells complained that they were living high on the hog, they were being treated very well. Don Wells was complaining again about something being done in a positive. That goes back to the whole helicopter incident where he complained about them searching for Summer.
Well, and he said these people have doctor money because the kids are in football and basketball. Let me ask all you fine parents in here. Have your kids participated in sports? You don't have to be a millionaire to have your kids participate in school activities. Get real. Get real.
Yeah, no, it doesn't take doctor money. It takes making just a decent wage, and even if you aren't making six-figure digits, income digits, you can still afford to put a couple $100s, and they do sponsorship programs to help the funding on that to be able to participate.
Sonia Allen said, since when is a clean home and meals considered living high on the hog? That's what Don said. They're living high on the hog because they have a toothbrush.
Yeah.
Because they have doors?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They have doors. The first room that you enter into that house, if you don't pay attention, you're entering into the boys' bedroom. That very first room is the boys' bedroom.
Yeah.
There's bunk beds against the back corners.
And now they have a door. They have a closet. They get to play basketball, football. I mean, come on. They act like this is abnormal stuff. I think Don's words were, that's how the other half lives. Hang on. Vet Girl said, I didn't hear Trevor's question. Go ahead, Trevor. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just half joking. You were saying, is it high on the hog to have a toothbrush? And I said, what, like to have a door?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, just like normal things don't make it like they're living in a mansion just because they have like everyday normal things.
No.
Well, yeah, you have clean clothes, you have chores, you have responsibilities. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. That growing up and learning what it is to actually be a man. And you have those things. You're supposed to have those things.
Parenting. What they have now is responsible adults that are parenting them. They have people who care about them. Now, I know there's a lot of stuff said on other channels. Where the boys are, whether they're together, we are not going to discuss that here. It is not my business. I want them safe, and that's it. I am not one of those people that will advocate and be on a panel. People are saying, you go, mama, you can get your kids back. What did these boys ever do to these people that they want to put them back with that? Shannon's back.
Welcome back, Shannon.
Sorry. Phone died.
And for all we know, they could have lost parental rights. They were supposed to have a court hearing on May 18th. Candace said she was going back to Tennessee to mow. Climate change, Cant had some landscaping to do that day, according to her, but they didn't show up to court. This is trauma these boys are going to have to deal with someday.
From what I've heard, and not going to continue, agree with Brooks with saying that, it's not fair to the boys to discuss where they are, other than say they're in good hands, because if you listen to what Don Wells said, it's exactly what is going on. They're in good hands, good, strong parental hands. But going forward with that, it is just, what Carrie Lawson was saying, they're not constantly surrounded with chaos right now. They're in a stable place where they can be boys. They can be, have that social interaction with other boys, other kids their age, and grow up correctly. And that's what's most important about what's going on with the boys.
They don't have to be afraid.
Yeah.
There's no drunken fights. There's no breaking doors. There's no parties at 1 o'clock in the morning. There's
Police
no
are-
strange men living with them.
They can sleep good.
Right. Exactly. All
Dad's
of
not
it.
going to jail. Police aren't showing up at the house.
Right. And if you miss your court dates, eventually they will take away your parental rights and they will adopt your children out.
In Tennessee, thank you for bringing that up, Shannon. In Tennessee, it is so easy for a parent to get back their children that are in CPS care.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the easiest state in the United States, believe it or not. You don't even have to complete every single thing that they put on the list of what needs to be improved.
Right.
As long as majority of it is being done and you're working towards getting it completed, they're satisfied. If you go to the court hearings, there's a purpose for them to do continuances.
Yeah, because you're showing, I want my kids back. I'm trying. And if you don't go and you're not making your time phone calls, if they do get visitations at a center and they don't show up, that all gets marked down. And after, I don't know, it could be 2 years or whatever, and especially not showing up to court date after court date, you will lose your kids.
Right. Well, here it is.
Along with all the other circumstantial evidence in this situation,
In Tennessee, ideally, they want to return children back to the home by 18 months. If it hits the 18-month mark, that's when they need the courts to issue and to have continuances. My understanding is if they are not back in the home, the child is not back in the parental home by 24 months, it's almost automatic that they're considered to be wards of the state and will be adopted out.
Right.
But the difference with this case is foul play is suspected in the disappearance of their sister. Imagine the risk if they ever return the boys back to them. You have two people in one family that have evaporated. There's no trace of them.
Big point. Very big point.
I bet, and I'm no idea.
And a very big factor. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, you're fine. I didn't realize you were talking. I was gonna say is, and I wonder too if it's a thing with CPS that they had an open case there prior to Summer going missing. I mean, Dawn and multiple, they've made that clear that CPS had been involved with them prior to Summer going missing. So then as CPS, how do you look at that as we were involved in that with her living there? She goes missing. Then we take the kids that live there now. And then you still look at possibly sending them back, it's like, will we, you've been down that road before. Will you just be back there a month later with another CPS call? I mean, I don't know, but it's something to consider. I feel like if you're CPS, you've been there before that many times, likely that you'll have to go back.
Well, I mean, and as their social worker, would you want to take the risk of putting them back, even though there's no charges on Dawn, Candace, or Grandis, that they could disappear too? To me, it's very, very risky. And I just cannot believe anybody would encourage write letters and say, give them their kids back. Nobody kidnapped their kids. They lost their kids.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
And like Dr. Phil said, it wasn't just because the home needed repaired.
Yeah, that's
And
not
that, and because they were scared because one person came up to the property and he had to shoot up in the air to scare them away. It's way more than that.
From everything I can figure, and this is purely my opinion, I'm just gonna put that out there. The everything that has been ever done to that house, as far as any sort of construction or expansion, was all illegal. All of it was illegal, and not with any sort of any sort of construction, whatever you have to get from the county or town. Permits. Because if you look at the value of the property, it really does not change. No matter what they do, the value of that property never changes or barely changes. It doesn't even keep up with the rate of the growth in the area. And when you look at when you look at what it was going on very early on, to me, and you can disagree, please, if anybody wants to disagree, I'm not going to argue with you on it. You're welcome to. What Don Wells was working on was foundation building. They were getting ready to do another expansion on the house. He was laying bricks for a foundation to expand that house further. Nobody. I've tried to find permits and I can't.
Because I don't.
I doubt he got it. They do everything rogue and off the books. They don't care about laws. They don't care about,
exactly.
They don't even take care of their own kids. I mean, look at it this way. This is how crazy. Okay, you don't take care of your kids. When Kathy came and picked up Candace and took her to her house, and of course Candace wound up selling her the Subaru, she left a pack of dogs up there with no food. The Humane Society had to go and round up all those dogs and adopt them out. Everything that the Wells touch becomes toxic, becomes hurt, becomes abused, becomes damaged, and it becomes everyone's problem. I don't get it. That girl said, I want to know who was present on the hill when Ellie arrived that day. Trevor, I have heard, RJ, Shannon, I have heard when they arrived, it was Grandis, Dawn, the boys were outside, and Candace was in the house. All the Jody Sue story, Blue Roof Dawn, Frank Light, none of that was going on. Has anybody heard different than that?
Right.
Don Wells would have arrived after law enforcement initially showed up.
Okay.
And because he was a parent, they would let him up on the property. But as far as who was there on the property, you're right. And they immediately isolated everybody. There's actually a photo that was floating around at one point. I don't know if it's still from a video or whatnot, but there was a photo where it shows exactly what I'm describing. They literally separated everybody around the driveway, around what circled around the house, and the detectives went around speaking to everybody individually to find out what they saw.
You have to. Yeah.
And that's standing. And
sure
that's
that story matches. Yeah.
If you have them together, they can build off each other's stories.
Right. That's why you have to have them separated some.
Yeah.
And Candace was
even when you get pulled over by a cop, and there's something suspicious, they'll separate the two drivers and ask, what are you doing, where you go, you know what I mean? So you don't get your story straight if you're lying.
Mm-hmm. That girl said, Candace them as of 11:30 p.m. per Leslie and Allie. I heard that too. I've heard that too. But the story that Jody Sue told, I don't believe it, because on her own Facebook,
I don't.
a couple of days, or I say a couple of days, I don't know, it could be a couple of weeks after Summer went missing, on her own Facebook, she said she didn't know anything was going on that day. But now, according to her, she was had her hiking shoes on and was out in the woods looking for Summer. I mean, how does that make sense? We know she sleeps all day because she's up all night. No. You're telling me that day she was
And she's
awake?
wishy-washy. No.
No.
And she's not listening. No. Yeah, that goes into my pile of, that doesn't go to this case. That goes way over here and ignored. You know, put away. That doesn't go to, in my head, to this case.
Yeah, there was no one there. There was Don. He might have showed up after. He might have showed up when they arrived. I don't know, because Dobson and Robin didn't show up later. Candace stayed in the house. She didn't want to talk to him. Now, why would Candace not want to talk to him? But Grandis and Don.
And then she called Robin, right?
She called Robin. She called Dobson. She called Hunter. She called Allie. Yeah. Those were four priorities.
I've done a lot of studying on the church, and it looks like Shannon dropped off on us again. I've done a lot of studying on the church, and from what I found out is that they actually have a team already set up within the church that it would involve those people, Sunday school teachers, persons that were in their inner circle, so to speak, that were trained for doing searches like that, going out and searching for a kid. Now, it was meant for if a child, if they had children outside playing during church and whatnot, if they wandered off into the woods or wandered off down the road, that they could get those people together quickly and have a team that's already out searching by the time law enforcement got there. But they were trained the same way to go out into the wooded areas and into the urban areas, or suburban areas, sorry. Urban and suburban areas, however you want to look at it. I don't remember which is which. And search.
Me neither.
And that's what they were why, from my understanding, that's why they were contacting them, is that they were going to reach out to them and get them involved to help search.
Yeah, and the Dotson part is what confuses me. And if there's that, and I know that there's the chance that's discussed that there's that hierarchy at the church or whatever, and he was supposed to come out, or like you're talking about, they have that together. But the Robin part doesn't as much, and people may disagree with me, but like, if that person was really that close to your child, it may make sense. And if you're that close to them, that you let them know that this child is missing, because it seems that Robin cared a lot for Summer. You know, she had her in church and they have pictures together, and it seemed that, you know, she was pretty close to her. So personally, it makes sense to me that eventually you'd get a hold of someone like that who really cares about your child. But the Dotson part,
I can see that.
Odd.
Going by body language, I would actually go as far as to say she actually cared more about Summer than Candace ever did.
Absolutely.
Well, and to me, Robin, when she arrived, was under the assumption that Summer just wandered off out in the woods, because her whole demeanor, you know, and she's goofy. Okay, she's goofy, she's ditzy, and she's like, "We're just going to pull an all-nighter. We're going to get some snacks, and we're going to go find her. We're going to be out here all night. We're going to find her." And when they were like, "No, you're not," you know, and I think it's because they already sensed something was not right.
Right.
Exactly.
I personally believe that when Robin was told no, this is law enforcement only to be searching, she was actually hurt, because she wanted to be out there finding one of her Sunday school kids.
But they have to understand police and evidence, and you don't want to you know, that whole situation. So I get the police on that, and I get why she was hurt. But that's why you make, like the group that EquiSearch, that's why you make a plan, a team effort, and you go over certain areas, and you're taught if you find something, how to the procedure for that, instead of just Joe Schmo from YouTube going and searching. You could mess up and taint evidence, right?
Brooks, if you don't mind, I have a question for your chat.
Go ahead.
I'm sitting here watching and I see a lot of Robin is sus, Robin is odd, Robin is this, that, and the other. Robin is involved. How?
I don't believe that.
My question is, how do you get to that point? Because every single time I've ever heard, and the body language and the photos, to me, point this complete opposite way.
My thing with Robin is when law enforcement says something is significant, it's not for Robin to say it's not. So when she had a big Sharpie out and she said that red truck does not, I don't think she's involved at all. But for her to say, I mark this off at every flyer, that's not for her to say. I don't believe she's involved, but I believe that she had a lot of missteps along the way. And I think she probably looks back thinking, I wish I would have never talked to anybody.
Yeah. And
no, I agree with you. I'm just saying I'm
Sunday school teachers are real, like the two real just happy-go-lucky, and you know what I mean? Just kind of, I don't know how to phrase it, but she reminds me of a Sunday school teacher.
Right.
Just, always happy and quirky.
Yeah. It's just because somebody might be quirky and off. And to be honest, I was at one point trying to be a youth leader in a church. And my impression is that usually the ones that are the Sunday school teachers or the youth leaders or for the teen groups and whatnot, they are the ones that are quirky and off. And that's what, and that's a good thing, because they get on the child's level of understanding, and they get and they have activities planned for that child's level. It's not that they're like any different from any other human being outside of that. It's just they're being off slightly is to a good thing for that age group.
Well, it's like a preschool teacher. It's like a preschool.
Yeah, and I believe what Brooke said, because I believe that she made some mistakes along the way. She's never been through this. I used to teach pre-K, so I get that side of her. So I agree with both of you guys. Absolutely.
Well, I think her helping them redo their house, that's above and beyond for a friend.
Right. Yeah.
I love you to death, but if you're like, hey, I need to fix my house up, I'm going to be like, call Home Depot.
Right.
I'm not
Let's find your kid.
I'm not.
Go get a loan. I'll help you do the work. Go get a loan for the materials.
I probably won't even do that. You're the one that made it a mess. You clean it up. And so for her to not trust them in the beginning and say they're here at church for these handouts, and then she's given them a huge handout by not just doing some painting and stuff, but these are entire renovations. How the Wells can manipulate people to the level that they do, I will never understand. Candace in particular, how does she get people to take care of her, solve her problems, pay for her, give her places to stay?
I think they try to get in her life and get in her good graces, thinking they'll get something. And in the end, if you've noticed, they all turn against her. That's just my guess. I don't know. I don't get it.
Brooks, can I have a little bit of a off the topic for a moment? Again, I'm just watching your chat. Some people don't know who I am. Can I just give a little bit of background, a little bit of who I am?
Please do.
Okay, I live in Hawkins County. I live. It's approximately 10 miles from where I physically am to Ben Hill Road. I have my channel, which Brooks has been more than gracious of putting out my channel earlier. I've done a lot of work, local work, on putting information about the area out there on YouTube, so people can get a better understanding of what some of the bigger channels are saying, but don't understand or may not give the full details that I have been explaining.
Right.
Both you and Trevor have done amazing work, and we need more channels like this, as opposed to petting Dawn and Candace's head, because that's not helping anything. That is not helping anything.
No, it's not.
And I'm glad I know about you guys, because I had to take a break for several months. The Harmony case and some other things, but I want to check your channels out. And I live in, you know where Chattanooga is, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I live just right outside, like 10 minutes on the Georgia side, in the same type of terrain. So I get it. So I would really love to check y'all channels out. So I appreciate that.
I try to, I do focus on Summer Wells. I am 100%. I'll share this. I 100% believe that Summer Wells has unfortunately will not be found alive.
I agree.
But that is my personal opinion, but my channel, what I try to focus on is that local information, and that information, a lot of information about Don Wells and why he cannot be trusted in anything he says. And I'm trying to get into more about Candace and Grandis, but that's just, Grandma is just impossible to nail down information on outside of what happened to Rose Bly.
Yeah.
Well, and I like how you do the mapping, because let's be honest. This DA is not going to do anything without Summer. And so when you explain the trajectory, the terrain, how far this is from their address, how far this is, I have a picture, because here's the thing. Finding Summer will end all of this.
Oh, exactly.
Finding Summer will end all of this. And who knows about the caves? Who knows about the rocks? Grandis.
What do y'all think about? I know a lot of people know about the Diane Downs case where she shot her children, and one of them died, but it took them, I don't know if it was a year or so, but it took a lot of therapy before they could get the daughter to actually say, my mom shot us. And I was wondering if there's a lot of that going on with the boys, and, with therapists and stuff like that they just have not been ready, or they're scared to come out with what they do know. Because that does take time. Right,
and that could be part of it.
Brooks, I think Trevor needs a link drop so he can come back to join us again.
Oh, okay. Well, he had to take a phone call. I didn't know he was back in chat. I apologize.
I saw him a few moments ago in the chat. I don't know if he was asking for a link or whatnot, but I know I saw him there a few moments ago. But Shannon, you have it exactly right. But that's been happening since the very moment that the CPS has taken custody of the kids, of the boys,
Right.
because they had no time. They have no time to waste on that. They had to start building that trust factor with the psychologist, with the police, from the very moment that started.
I'm sure they've been told the police are bad, CPS is bad.
We got robot Shannon. We got robot Shannon. And she's exactly right about Diane Downs. It took a very long time for Christy to be able to point to her mother and say, this is what happened. And Pruitt did say that the CPS case has bled over into this. Here's the thing. They already know Summer is not alive. They need that puzzle piece to bring it all together. The biggest way to do it
I'm so sorry, y'all.
Would be to find Summer. All right, let's get to this real quick.
I don't know. I can't tell you. Okay. Because I don't know.
Do you have any suspicion ever?
I have a lot of suspicion. I have a problem with Allie, Jose, Jody Sue, Andy, Donnie.
Jody Sue, Donnie, Andy, Allie, Jose. What about you? You were home. Cant. Let's play opposite day. Why all the deflection?
It's from YouTube.
Yeah. Just Me said people you brought around. People you brought around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could list a whole bunch of people.
Number 5. She had to put Summer on the side.
You know, and I don't like saying this.
Oh.
And I don't want to say this at all. But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys because they're still here. It's still living. It's still in foster care. And I don't want to do that.
Number 6. Pranking Mary.
Hello? Hey, Mary. Hey.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa's playing opposite day just so right. She said, what about Grandis? She's got all these suspicions, but not about her mother, not about Grandis. Why?
Of course
you have
not. Yeah.
About Allie, really. I'm not fat shaming, but you're telling me that Allie went up there and went into the basement and grabbed Summer and left? You think
No.
she went to the damn dog trail? Jody Sue, who sleeps all day? Andy, who was at work? We know that because Andy said TBI came and got all his work records. I mean, come on. Come on. That's insane.
It's like Don trying to blame Dijon. Yes. It's like Don trying to blame Dijon. And when they go and ask and start digging in, he goes, the alibi's solid. Can't do anything. It's just him trying to blame people, which is part of the reason why they start turning around looking back at the family.
You know, and please don't forget that on June 17th, with a missing daughter, she makes an in-person visit to Allie and Hunter's. And instead of saying, I'm so glad you guys are working with TBI, we have to find Summer, she pinned them down and said, what are you telling them? Then on the 18th, her and Grandis went to the water park.
That's crazy.
And why ask what you're telling them if there's nothing you're worried about them?
Exactly.
Because it's not like they can just lie. I mean, they can lie. They can say, Candace did this, but TBI is still going to have to prove it. You think they're going to go make charges and take you to court over, or take you to trial over a statement Allie makes? No. It'll help, but they have to prove whatever is said. So
all right.
It's not like she's got to be concerned with crazy lies made up. Sounds like she's concerned about something that she doesn't want being told.
Yeah.
Right.
She even said that better have been all you told them. TBI wanted to know what she was driving that day. For some reason, they were concerned about what she was driving. To me, that raised my eyebrows.
What's going on, Candace? They just took Donnie away. Who did? The boy. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, honey. I feel so bad for you. Well, did Donnie ever come into some money that you knew about or anything? About $80,000. I don't know. That's not your fault, Candace, okay? Do you think he had something to do with Summer's disappearance? In my heart, I don't. Wow. It's top secret again. I want to know where my babies are. I know, Candace, right? Don't worry about your boys because your boys are safe. And try not to worry about Summer because she's out there. I believe she's still out there, okay? I don't know. I wish I knew. Candace, I wish I knew where she was. But I believe that she's still out there and she's going to find her way home. I really do.
Number 7. The time she didn't quite look all right.
Subjects on so many different topics like kindness, caring, peace, happiness, support, etc. I am learning through this all the hate.
Number 8. I'm effing awesome.
Maybe trying to scare you guys to stay quiet. I just want to, you don't have to answer anything, just say either no, sure, we're okay, or fuck it off. Fuck it off.
I'm effing awesome. Your kids are in foster care. Summer is missing. Your 2 older children were taken by the state of Wisconsin. You fled with the carnies down to Arkansas, but you're effing awesome. How much does that turn your stomach when you hear Candace, who was home on June 15th and with Summer all day long, for her to say, I'm effing awesome?
Statements like that are what I'm waiting on the enablers to defend. I haven't heard anybody be able to say why she would say something like that. And that's where I stand. There's no defense to say. How could you say something like that? It's just like the comment that you showed on the screen earlier where she said, we're not discussing Summer, we're talking about PG.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the parent of a missing child and you're up there or you're in the chat and this person covers that case, why are you not talking about your child? You had that comment. How do you not?
We're not discussing Summer. This is about PG and being so evil to everyone. Who would care? Your child is missing.
And I wasn't in there, but if she said something like that, there's a good chance somebody brought Summer up. If she goes, we're not discussing Summer. I wasn't there, I don't know, but there's a chance that somebody brought that up. And if that's the case, how does somebody bring up your missing child and you go, we're not talking about that tonight?
If you don't mind, throw that quote up there again. That you just had up there a moment ago.
I put it up.
There we go. This is 2 different sentences. Okay. First sentence, we're not discussing Summer, period. This is about PG and being so evil to everyone. I don't care about that second statement, the second sentence whatsoever. First sentence says everything. We're not discussing Summer. The better question is, when has she ever discussed Summer? Because just like Don Wells had issues with saying Summer Moon Utah Wells or my daughter or anything along that lines when he was talking about Summer and everybody was running to him for comments. This is the same exact thing. We're not here to talk about my daughter. I've constantly been, and I'm not doing this to make everybody go watch my videos or anything, but I've been constantly on this idea of whenever you're asked a question, just like a politician would be asked a question, you don't accept the premise of the question. You turn it and you say, I'm here to discuss my missing child, Summer Moon Utah Wells, just like Brandy had done when everybody talked to her about Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
You don't let any opportunity slip by to get rid of a bad question and refocus it on your missing child. But she's doing the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm. No, you're exactly right. What parent, grandparent would not want to discuss the disappearance of their child? This is not the first chat, and I don't mean mine, because you know how I roll. This is not the first one where she said, we're not here to discuss Summer. This is not about Summer. It's not the first one. And that crap's allowed and encouraged. And I don't get it.
Well, yeah, look, she's got that. Look at that comment. She's got a wrench. She was given, she's a mod on the channel that she's saying that on. So it's definitely encouraged. I mean, it's crazy. At the least, how do you not go to channels, even if they're not discussing Summer, and just drop in and be like, not to take away from anything, but please pray for Summer, for answers for Summer, or Summer is still missing, been missing this long. Here's how tall she is. Here's a description of her. Simply
Right.
something like that. But to go out of your way to go, we're not discussing her.
You know, I don't go live a whole lot, but to be honest, if her or Don Wells came out and said that over the last, I would say 4, maybe 5 lives that I've done, I'd have half my content that I've talked about chopped out from underneath me. Because that's what I've been focusing on a lot lately, is why they cannot say their daughter's name.
Guilt. Guilty of something. Guilty of something. They should want her, they should have nothing in their mouth except for finding their daughter, advocating their daughter. We're not discussing Summer. Can you imagine? Could you imagine the mother of Sean Hornbeck saying, I'm not going to discuss Sean? That hurts my self-esteem. I'm out playing coin pusher and I need dog food. Could you imagine the mother of JC Dugard saying, oh, I'm not going to talk about JC. I'm not looking for her anymore. I'm playing coin pusher. And I went to the liquor store and got me a big old jug of R&R. Could you imagine the family of Elizabeth Smart saying, we're not going to talk about Elizabeth. We're on the way to go play coin pusher. And we're on a dating app called Plenty of Fish. I've been talking to a guy called Sunshine 420. We're going to go have catfish tonight.
Or
Could you imagine the mother of Michael Vaughn saying, don't ever bring, no, we're not discussing Monkey in here. Because I want to be free to talk about my husband drywalling. I made a channel to talk about dead fish and duck.
Or just going on to a panel and completely and outright flirting with somebody that joins that panel.
Uh-huh.
If a parent of a missing child came and says that in your chat, then you should say, then fine, we're not discussing you. If Candace comes in a chat and says, we're not discussing my daughter, then that's when you should say, good, fine, then we're not discussing you either. Because then it goes from a parent advocating for her child to another YouTube chatter. She's no longer up there as an advocate for her daughter. She's in there as Candace herself. And at that point, she's another chatter and you should just not even engage it.
Just the other day, I saw Natalie Holloway's mother on the Today Show. Guess what she was talking about? Natalie Holloway. Natalie Holloway has been murdered and missing for over a decade. She wasn't like, hey, I don't want to talk about Natalie. I'm here to talk about me and why people are so mean. I want to talk about Prayer Garden of America, and then I got to go. I need some dog food money. Can everyone cash app me? Because I got Coin Pusher to play today. No.
It was rumored, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I would like to believe it is, knowing that Natalie Holloway's mom has fought this long and how hard to find out what it has been, or an answer, that the rumor that went around that she was actually at the airport on the tarmac waiting with police to see him, that person, not even deserving to be called a man, a spoiled brat prince, whatever he was supposed to be, from another country, to see him have touch U.S. soil and have handcuffs placed on him. I'd like to believe that's true because of how hard she fought and the money and the resources that she put out there to find an answer to what happened to her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And she did that knowing that what he was going to court for then, when he was come back here, was not, going to be full justice for her daughter, but she still is fighting the fight. And by being there, making sure that he's held accountable for what they're charging him for now and eventually for what she believes happened to her daughter. And that says something too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not this one. Not this one. You can't bother her with this stuff. So you brought up her flirting with another man. Yeah. And I'm not talking about the channel. I don't care about the t-shirt. Just watch Candace when Ernie comes on.
But yeah, it's insinuating. Is that Ernie?
Yeah, that's Ernie. That's his
Yeah, that's Ernie.
Okay, come up, Ernie, if you want
Yeah,
to.
he needs to come up and say hi, the old stranger.
Get up here, Ernie.
Everybody's saying that you ditched me the other day when you come up here, which I know Ernie. Ernie's in and out all the time. So Ernie don't.
Yeah, he ditches everybody.
He does.
Trying to call him for weeks. Freaking won't even answer his phone.
I know. Ernie's just Ernie.
Unless he wants to be mean to me. That'll send me a message.
But yeah, I mean, he's more than welcome. Don B, if you want to come up here and you got things to say, well, you need to come up here and apologize to Candace. This is your chance to make things right. There's Ernie on.
I'd like to talk to Don B.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
Well,
do you remember me, Ernie?
I do remember you.
Okay.
We got lips up here.
Okay.
Hey, stranger.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Oh my God, is that Candace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Candace, you looking pretty good today.
I'm trying my best.
Her
That's
hair's
good.
all long and stuff.
She's doing good, Ernie. She's doing real
Looks
good.
like you straightened right up and got your headphones set on. Lord.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Living
good.
the good life.
I love you,
good.
Jinky.
That's her new nickname, Can.
Can. 10
Well,
10.
what's
That's what
today's
we call
conversation
Ben
about,
Gilroy.
y'all?
10, we call
Don B's making
Don B and his bull crap.
He's making t-shirts with Summer's name on it and selling it. This right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? He ain't got no reason to be doing that.
Well,
And
right.
his business to be doing that.
And he's the one that's been stalking.
Hey, stranger.
Hi, stranger. Get up here, y'all stranger. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Doesn't have her teeth in. Turns on the camera so he can get a big old thirsty drink of her. Does the lean back with no bra, and all he can say is, "You got your headset on."
Did you hear
the
his?
nicest thing he can say to her.
Yep. And did you hear his question too? It goes right back to what we were talking about with them not discussing Summer. He said something like, "What's the conversation about today?" If the mother of Summer Wells is up there, you would think it'd be pretty obvious, but it's not, because they're talking about they're angry at somebody about t-shirts, which whatever. But the fact that you even have to ask that is crazy. Like, I feel like if you saw Brandy Neal on a panel, you would not have to come up there and say, "So what's the conversation today?" Because I doubt she's going to be telling us about her favorite pizza toppings.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. But she does the lean back, turns on the camera. "Yo, stranger, you got your headset on. What's the topic?" "Oh, Don B and his bull crap. Why are you not advocating for your daughter? Who gives a rat's ass about a t-shirt? Who gives a
Bingo.
rat's ass about prayer garden? Who
Bingo.
cares about the fish and the ducks? Why are you not cooperating with the police?
Yep, exactly. That's what the conversation needs to be 99 times out of 100. It's okay to, have a little gateway question or a gateway. Oh, yeah, I'm planning to have pizza tonight for supper. You guys are having these suggestions for toppings. That's a whole different ball of wax. But you're trying to get an idea for something different to do with an ordinary thing that people eat. Just using your example. Mm-hmm. But this whole conversation, this flirtation goes on and on and on. And it just continues to push the conversation away from Summer Moon Utah Wells, where it should be the whole entire time she's on panel.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, it's perfectly acceptable to talk about other things in conversation, to bring other things up, like you said. I just feel like there's like times where she goes on panel and there's a chance that the whole time Summer's not talked about. Or if it is, it's somebody commenting it and then they get yelled at because they ask Candace a question or something.
And I go back to what RJ said. This sentence is all I need. This is from Cant. Climate change Cant. We're not discussing Summer. Forget the rest of it. We're not discussing Summer. We're not discussing her. We got better things to talk about. T-shirts, headsets, dead fish, ducks. Sword of the Spirit said, please unblock my Susie Sue name. Thanks. You're not blocked, hun. Let me go look. If you were, it's an accident. Let me look at something real quick.
And if something's bothering you that much, like a t-shirt or something, one, I mean, it's just a silly thing to go on there and have a whole issue about, but whatever. But your daughter should be first anyway. Find answers for your daughter, find your daughter, help, focus on that. And then take up if you want to get mad at them about t-shirts, you want to sue somebody, I don't care. But why are you doing that, worrying about that while your daughter's still missing?
I don't do t-shirts on my channel and things like that, so I don't know the cost. And Brooks, I'm not calling you out on this. I believe you actually have more experience with this financial wise, so you may be able to explain this. But from what I understand, when the creator actually makes a t-shirt or comes out with a t-shirt with these design companies and things like that, the creator only makes $1, maybe $2 on a shirt. And the rest of it goes into the printing, the shirt, the shipping, all of that kind of stuff.
The shipping, the material, and a lot of my stuff is promotional, and it's for appreciation for people, supporting the channel.
Right. Anyway, that's what I say. I'm not calling you out. I'm just asking you for more explanation than I have knowledge of. But if they're going to sit there and criticize a creator for making a t-shirt and making a $1 or $2, mm-hmm. that just goes and further says that where their mind is. Why isn't that money coming to me? Why is it going to somebody else? Because let's not forget that channel keeps saying that they can't wait to get to X number of subscribers so they can start making shirts.
I was going to say the same thing. Yep. The hypocrisy is funny.
Well, and what I cannot get over is who would be offended by keeping your missing child's name out there. Look at this again. Look at this again. If you can stomach it, trigger warning.
But yeah, it's insinuating. Is that Ernie?
Yeah, that's Ernie.
Yeah, that's Ernie.
Okay, come up, Ernie, if you want.
Yeah, he needs to come up and say hi, the old stranger.
Get up here, Ernie.
Everybody's saying that you ditched me the other day when you come up here, which I know Ernie's in and out all the time. So Ernie don't.
Yeah, he ditches everybody.
Yeah,
he does.
Been trying to call him for weeks. He freaking won't even answer his phone.
I know. Ernie's just Ernie.
Unless he wants to be mean to me. That'll send me a message.
But yeah, I mean, he's more than welcome. Don B, if you want to come up here and you got things to say, well, you need to come up here and apologize to Candace. This is your chance to make things right. There's Ernie now.
I'd like to talk
Hey,
to
Ernie.
Don.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
Well,
Do you remember me, Ernie?
I do remember you.
Okay. We got
here's-
cheeks and lips up here.
Okay.
hey, stranger.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Oh my God, is that Candace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Candace, you looking pretty good today.
I'm trying my best.
Her
That's
hair's
good.
all long and stuff.
She's doing good, Ernie. She's doing real
Looks
good.
like you're straight and dried up and got your headphones set on. Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Living
good.
the good life.
I
Well,
love
that's
you,
good.
Jinky.
That's her new nickname, Can Can.
Can can.
Tin
Well,
Can.
what's
That's
today's
what we call
conversation
Ben
about,
Gilroy.
y'all?
We don't He's making
Don B and his bull crap.
he's making T-shirts with Summer's name on it and selling it. This right here.
Find somewhere well to listen. Wow.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? He ain't got no reason to be doing that.
Well, right.
He's
And
supposed to be doing that.
he's the one that's been stalking.
Gotta be kidding me. You got your headset. I'm doing all right. How can you be doing all right? I don't know how many of you have seen my shows where I've had Brandy Neal on. And I always feel silly with the gateway questions when I'm like, how are you doing? And I'm like, well, that's a stupid thing to ask. She has a hard time staying on because she is so upset. She is crying. She wants her son home, and she's just there for business. She talks about how the kids are doing, what they're doing to keep the family as normal as it possibly can. Then you see Miss Headset and the lean back. I'm doing all right. Look, her hair's growing. Who cares? You shaved Summer's head out of spite.
And all the shirt says is find
One
Summer
kid
Wells.
have lice and the other three not. And then you go on WJHL and said she wanted her head shaved like me and the boys. Do their heads look shaved?
You know, in all honesty, and I kind of think that Trev was headed in this direction a moment ago. You know, the shirt, all it says is find your child. Find Summer Wells. She's been missing since 6/15/2021. If it were me and it was my child and somebody went and took the time to go and make that T-shirt, I'd be promoting the crap out of it. Promoting the daylights out of that, saying somebody is putting out my child's name out there. The day she is missing. Guys, go support him and buy this shirt, because more people see this, the more information people are going to question what happened, and the more people are going to sit there and go, you know, we really need to help this family. But she takes the complete opposite approach.
I mean, a simple thank you. I appreciate him doing this.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. You promote it for him. You say, tell him that it's out there to go buy it. You're doing that. You are doing that.
Maybe they don't want her found.
Oh, it's obvious they don't want her found.
They keep changing the subject and deflecting because the last thing they want is her found.
Scare you guys to stay quiet. I just want to, you don't have to answer anything, just say either no, sure, we're okay, or
Fuck it off. They've been. Fuck it off. They've been. Fuck it off. They've been trying to split us up. Actually.
that's fucked up. Oh, because they think that if they do that, then one of you will turn on each other.
Bye.
Number 9. Appearing to be more interested in having a good time than talking about summer. Number 10. Her social media posts.
you told your friend you're not okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.
We don't know yet if Candace had anything to do with her daughter's disappearance, but in my opinion, I think she knows what happened. What do you think? Thanks for watching.
And I put that channel in the chat because I like how this woman broke it down. I really like how she broke it down, makes it real simple. This is what we've been looking at for almost 2 years. This is what we've been dealing with. Lies, deflection, more lies. But this, we're not discussing Summer. That's my line in the sand. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here today. I want to thank Trev for all your amazing work. I want to thank RJ for all your amazing work. Shannon Georgia Peach for coming on panel. And I'm even going to thank Andrew, even though I think he bold-faced lied to all of us. But I appreciate everybody being here, being an amazing community, and keeping the case of Summer Wells out there. And you know what I mean when I say the case of Summer Wells. This has been a great show. This has been a great panel. And I just adore every one of you. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. That meant the world to me. You guys are the best. RJ, keep up the great work. Trev, keep up the great work. Trev is also our host for trivia. He does a great job.
Thank you for allowing me to join you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Anytime. We're going to be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. We're going to break down a bunch of stuff about Grandis. And then, of course, on Thursday, we have another show about Summer. That will be the 2 years. We're going to go through the 911 dispatch and a lot of stuff. And then more true crime on Friday. But you guys keep keeping it real. Thank you so much to the mods. I know a few people got blocked, and I don't know what happened there. I've unblocked them. So I'm going to have to figure out what's going on there. And I apologize for that. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Now, I was going to do a separate show on the other channel, but time got away from me. You know how time flies when you're having fun, according to Cant. According to Cant. Here's a little video about Summer. And then I'm going to end the show.